The Roborock Q8 Max Pro now features a brand new anti-tangle system for hair. The side brush comes straight from the Q Revo curve. Now it's a dual beam design that stays clean on its own. But they also reworked the main suction inlet. The older Q8 Max had a module with 2 rollers, while the Pro version now comes with a fixed nozzle, a turbo brush, and small teeth near the air channel. Suction power has been cranked up. They claim a whopping 10,000 pascals. And the mopping function, that got an upgrade too. The mop now lifts when it detects carpet. On paper, the Q8 Max Pro sounds impressive, but does this hair detangling system actually work? Is the new motor noticeably stronger? And does it really improve cleaning performance? That's what we're here to find out in this official Best Robot review. Let's start by checking out the stylish box, which has a full-color image of the vacuum. Inside, you'll find the robot itself. We'll take a closer look soon. A vertically styled docking station, power adapter, a mop pad base to protect your flooring, the user manual, and a quick maintenance guide. As usual, the unboxing is pretty minimal. No spare accessories inside, though those should hit the marketplaces soon. The most eye-catching spec here is the suction power, which is nearly double that of the previous model. The price is also surprisingly reasonable, especially for a brand new release. Flip the vacuum over, and visually it doesn't stray far from the original Q8 Max. Still a circular body, 3.8 inches tall, with a rectangular cutout in the bumper. Same lighter with a pressure sensor. Up front, you've got 2 buttons, one for power, the other for docking. And by the way, this EOS version announces, starting to map. The glossy front panel is completely removable, thankfully in white. Under the hood, you'll find a QR code, a service port, and a large dustbin. The HEPA filter sits on top to avoid getting clogged too quickly. Beneath it is a spacious waste compartment that holds up to 17 fluid ounces. There's a valve built into the intake as well. You empty the dustbin from the back. Next to it is the water tank, which holds 9.1 ounces. The wide opening makes refills easy. On the front-facing panel, you'll see the structured light camera. There are no side sensors. Around the back are the base receiver, charging contacts, and exhaust vent. Now, flip it over, and here's where the differences become obvious. The signature dual suspension module has been replaced with a fixed nozzle. Only the scraper underneath has any give. That means less adaptability to uneven floors. Why the engineers made that trade-off is anyone's guess. Gone are the dual rollers. Now it's a turbo brush with rubber blades and bristles. Great for pulling up hair from carpets, but more likely to tangle, especially since the ends aren't removable. Presumably the fuzzy rings on either side are meant to reduce buildup. There are also short plastic teeth in the inlet, supposedly to untangle strands. But whether they're effective remains to be seen. Here's the second innovation. A dual beam side brush designed to resist hair tangles. It's a direct carryover from the Q Revo curve, but whether it can work effectively without a retracting mechanism is still a question mark. The mop's been upgraded too. Now it features a lifting mechanism that works alongside a carpet detection sensor. It lifts up to about 0.3 inches. The microfiber pad is decent quality, but on the thin side. It attaches using a groove and Velcro. Underneath, there's a single water nozzle. We'll find out later if that's enough to soak the whole pad. To get started, you'll need the Roborock app. Tap Add Device, scan the QR code, hold the buttons, follow the on-screen instructions, and wait for the plugin to install. It mapped the layout quickly, dividing the space into rooms. It doesn't identify objects. That's not a feature of this model. On-screen is a full list of app functions. Feel free to pause and check it out. One standout is the carpet editor. You can fine-tune the carpet placement to improve how the vacuum handles them. You can also define threshold zones where the robot will boost its effort. If the map includes a mirrored area, you can remove it using the Delete tool. Just highlight the section and tap the button. You can set different cleaning patterns like low coverage, standard zigzags, or dense zigzags for thorough results. These options are customizable for each room. There are also several carpet cleaning modes. Now we'll test those out later. So far, translation within the app has been seamless. All the core features are here. The one real downside? No edge following mode. It doesn't twist along baseboards like some rivals do, although there's no technical reason why that couldn't be added via firmware. Let's get into some real-world tests, starting with object detection. The robot spotted a white flower pot and brushed past it gently. Then it measured the gap and cleaned the area between the pot and the scale. On its way back, it bumped into the black flower pot line but still moved on and cleaned around your pet's little surprise. It handled that task like a champ. When it came back to the black pot, this time it swept around it carefully. It seemed to notice it, but still clipped the pot and rolled straight toward the sock. After a light bump, it tried to go around but didn't quite map the boundary correctly and ended up running over it. Moral of the story: socks belong in drawers. Back near the shoes, it sized them up more accurately and maneuvered around them without issue. Then it slipped right between nearby obstacles, circled a power strip, and nudged the scale. Apparently it wasn't a fan, and so it picked up speed and drove straight over it. From its perspective, the scale probably looked like just another low threshold to cross. It didn't detect your cat's little surprise, nor the phone charger cable nearby. Naturally, that led to a tangle. Items like that really need to be cleared from the floor ahead of time. Overall, the structured light camera performs as expected. It detects large objects but misses smaller ones. On the upside, it works just as well in low light as it does in a brightly lit room. Once cleaning starts, the robot moves along the baseboards. Without a side sensor, it struggles a bit. Linear motion gets interrupted by occasional stalls. It did notice the drying rack and hesitated, but still tried to push through the metal tubes. At least it didn't get stuck. We'll count that as a win. It only noticed the tripod's angled legs after bumping into them, though gently without causing any damage. It handles both black and white legs with care, regardless of their diameter. Watching it weave around them almost feels like a dance. But chrome legs? Those tend to throw it off. They're not its favorite, though it eventually brushes around them too. It had no trouble sliding under furniture. The Max Pro fits into 4-inch gaps without any issues. Its front sensors behave conservatively, avoiding unnecessary reactions. As for carpets, the robot has several handling algorithms on standby. It can trace the edge of a rug. If you pre-label carpets in the app, it'll follow the border precisely. The mop can lift 0.3 inches to avoid contact with soft surfaces. But that's still not enough clearance for thick shag rugs. On the plus side, the intensive carpet cleaning mode, the basically automatic power boost, functions just as it should. Alternatively, Max Pro can simply ignore the carpet and keep mopping right over it like nothing happened. Carpet color doesn't affect performance. It confidently navigates darker rugs in all directions. And yes, it doesn't fall off tables. The floor detection sensors trigger in time. No issues with small thresholds either. It tackled both 0.6-inch and 0.8-inch barriers on the first try. Mop pad attached. Great mobility overall. It also cleaned every room in the apartment, leaving no missed spots. Most importantly, it didn't bother the cat while he sharpened his claws. On max power, battery life clocked in at 94 minutes, covering 1,022 square feet. For larger homes, it supports auto resume after recharging. During its rounds, Max Pro picked up a ton of hair, fur, crumbs, and small debris. Surprisingly, the main brush was still clean. Barely a single strand wrapped around it. Could those tiny combs actually be working? We'll monitor that during the next test. Noise levels are relatively low. In quiet mode, it peaks at 52 decibels. On full power, it stays within 60 to 63 decibels. It doesn't quite reach Q Revo's silence, but it's definitely quieter than most rivals. And that's not because of reduced suction. Remember, it's still rated at 10,000 pascals. But how does that translate to real-world performance? On our slit pickup test, Max Pro passed over the platform multiple times. Results: 1-inch slits, nearly flawless. 0.15 inches, still excellent, nice long clean streaks. 0.25 inches, some debris left in 2 spots with performance dipping sharply. 0.3 inches, completely missed, it left a black strip. Surprisingly, it picked up debris in one section of the 0.4-inch slit. Looks like narrowing the nozzle had a positive impact on suction power. Now we just need to see how it performs alongside the fixed nozzle design. On laminate, the vacuum follows a standard cleaning pattern. First the perimeter, then zigzag passes. Its frequent stops near the baseboards don't hurt performance. They actually help clean along the wall. Take a look at the edge cleaning results from just one pass. True, it did scatter some debris back along the baseboard during the zigzag phase, but it tried to correct that. The platform looks decently clean overall, and a solid, though not perfect, showing. Some dirt remained in corners and at the outer edges. Corner cleaning was less impressive, and after 2 passes, 1.2 inches of debris remained. That's a bit behind the 0.6 to 1.0 inch average of comparable models, but at least there was no spillover beyond the corner zones. Sand pickup looked good at first glance. Even on the initial pass, the laminate looked cleaner. But under closer inspection, grains remained in the grooves, even after crosshatch zigzags. Some trouble spots also showed up around the edges. Despite the upgraded suction, the nozzle didn't hug the floor tightly enough in this test. The dual beam side brush underperformed compared to triple beam alternatives. Sand remained in a 1.4 inch band and in spots over 8 inches from the corner. On carpet, Max Pro started with a diagonal run to determine position. Something will factor into the scoring, then switch to its normal cleaning pattern. The rubber bristle hybrid brush did a great job in the middle section. No large debris remained, just a few tiny bits here and there. That's a strong result. But along the edges, the side brush left trails of debris fanning out from the corners. The turbo brush groomed the high pile rug nicely, sweeping up debris of all sizes. Hair, fur, everything. As usual with these tests, the baseboard stayed messy, but the central section looked clean, though mostly just on the surface. Fluff up the fibers a bit, and you'll still find cheerfully bouncing crumbs and cereal bits. Overall, the Roborock Q8 Max Pro delivered strong results on laminate, low-pile carpet, and rugs, though sand remained a weak point. The dustbin was packed with fur and mid-length hair, but the turbo brush? Still looking impressively clean. Most of the hair came from the fluffy rug, and chances are the robot will shed the rest of it during continued use. So overall, Roborock's self-cleaning system seems to work as advertised. And remember, Max Pro doesn't just vacuum, it also mops. Thanks to the mop lifting feature, it can handle both dry and wet cleaning in a single run. It's worth pointing out that the water flow rate has been dialed down compared to the original Q8 Max. The older model could hit a record-setting 1.4 fluid ounces per 100 square feet, while the Max Pro tops out at just 0.5 ounces. In quick mode, the vacuum skips wall edges and wraps up faster than standard cleaning. Intensive mode uses tighter zigzags, which slows things down. But that's the setting we'll use for our mopping test. Time to squeeze every drop of performance out of this thing. Let's start with coffee stains. We're not pre-wetting the pad. We'll see how well it handles things on its own. For about a minute and a half, the robot ran with a dry mop, then started trying to scrub. But even after 3 minutes, the pad was still mostly dry. That single nozzle just isn't enough to wet the entire microfiber evenly. After 4 passes, the center of the platform looked cleaner, but there were still visible streaks, especially along the wall. The stains along the outer edge only started fading after I manually moistened the pad's corners. And even then, the result wasn't flawless. After 6 full passes, it still left a 2.5-inch strip by the wall and nearly 4 inches in the corners. On the bright side, the pad made full contact with the surface. Pressure was even. For the juice stain test, we pre-soaked the mop, and right away the difference was obvious. Despite being tougher than coffee, the Max Pro cleaned the juice on the first go. It only needed a second pass to improve edge cleaning. Final result: 2.1 inches left untouched near the wall, 3.5 inches in the corners. Mop contact remained consistent. Time for a tougher challenge. On the first run in combined cleaning mode, Max Pro picked up most of the dirt clumps, but smeared the rest across the surface. The microfiber was blackened and packed with soil. After rinsing it in the sink, I restarted the cleaning. The mop picked up more of the brown residue. White spots began to reappear, but streaks were still obvious. Washed the pad again, restarted the cycle. This time, the brown gunk vanished under the mop. The platform was almost entirely clean, though if you're a perfectionist, you'd probably run one more pass. For a mid-range robot, the Roborock Q8 Max Pro delivered pretty solid, if not spectacular, mopping results. Just keep in mind, you'll get best performance by pre-wetting the pad every time. Let's sum things up. Roborock's upgrade to the popular Q8 Max came with some trade-offs. In a few areas, the Pro version is a definite step forward. In others, it falls slightly behind. The anti-tangle system actually does its job. The turbo brush handles pet hair on thin rugs and sheds it during rotation. And the side brush? Practically maintenance-free. The Q8 Max Pro packs way more suction now, enough to pull dust from deep inside a dog mat. But the fixed nozzle hurts dry cleaning performance a bit, especially with sand along edges where the dual beam brush just doesn't cut it. Thanks to the liftable mop, the robot can handle full hybrid cleaning in a single run. but the lower and less consistent water output does impact overall mopping performance. Bottom line, this robot is best suited for homes with low-pile rugs and fluffy pets, cats especially. Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next review.